This is Q.i.Q, the question in question. Brought to you by TherapyBites Art Lab. Here to take a bite out of modern-day pseudo-psychological psycho-malarkey. Now entering the Art Lab studio, today's T-Ballers, a collection of fellow strugglers, confronting personal challenges, navigating precarious relationships, and tackling trauma. Humans like each of us, juggling difficult human emotions, each here with unique life experiences, lived stories, and questions we'll bite into that just might help you too. And now, entering the Art Lab studio for the 9,880th time is the host of Therapy Bites Q.i.Q, Doc Heath.
Hey gang, welcome to Q.i.Q. Everybody had a good week so far. I'm so happy to be here with you. My new mic in tow, as I might have said last time. Here's my old mic. I did a mic drop. You don't want to do that on concrete. These things don't bounce. I guess a souvenir or maybe something for the local yard sale. You can put in your bids now. I think it still works, actually. I may keep it as a backup. Thank you guys for being here, and we're going to jump right into it today. I was thinking about this, and it gave me a good opportunity to practice what I preach and not catastrophize. I remember when I traveled the nation going coast to coast consulting to different medical facilities, I stumbled upon a very wonderful little old lady who sat at the front, and she would say repeatedly her mantra, "Don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it." And I thought, wow, what a cool thing. What if we all adopted that mindset? Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And we're here to not worry about things. That's a mindset. And when you worry about things, you should drill down to what you're worried about and try to restructure those thoughts that are sabotaging you. Let's go to the board. And these are categories: Couch Crumbs quotes. Sometimes it's a question. Creature feature, which is some of the psychological concepts we have embodied in our little graphic. Social media smackdown. Challenging social media Kool-Aid drinking pseudo-psychological nonsense. Fresh from the therapy couch, real life stories of helping, hurting, healing. Couch Crumbs, that's our newsletter. And Nero, which is also Psych Secrets. And thank you guys and gals who are streaming this through Twitter. Welcome. Thank you for being on the account. If you've not followed, go ahead and follow. We try to post some nutritious things there. And also on YouTube. If you haven't joined our YouTube channel, it's at TherapyBites, and just click. You get a notice when we post a new video, which we try to do fairly regularly. And let's see, LinkedIn. Welcome from LinkedIn. Thank you for being here. And Facebook, of course. We are going to take the first item from Couch Crumbs Quotes, and I will put that up in the chat, and I will drag it over to the board. And this particular item is for 600 Psy coins. And from episode, if you watch our episodes or listen to those episodes, we have a new episode out about being a couch potato and how behavioral deactivation keeps depression going. If you're struggling with depression, the 3 things that you can do that will help you the most is move. And Nita Sweeney, our friend, came on the podcast, and you can get that wherever you find podcasts. And all you got to do is search Therapy Bites. Again, the answer is, for 600 Psy coins, cogito ergo sum. One of my first phrases I learned in undergrad philosophy, cogito ergo sum. And we don't have any contributors just yet. And the question is, what is Descartes' well-known quote about thinking being evidence of existence? Don't you just love Descartes? Descartes decided to just throw out everything, baby bathwater everything, and start from scratch. And he finally came to the conclusion that if I can think, I must exist. I think, therefore I am. And humans have struggled with existence from, well, the dawn of humans. and that was Descartes' journey. Let's go back to the board, and this is going to come from Creature Feature, and I'll put that up on the board. And again, this will save from episode, and if you watch on YouTube or listen on your favorite pod player app, you can get some of these questions right. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
You are a fellow human struggling with difficult emotions, a fracturing relationship, parenting problem, mental health difficulty, have a psychotherapy from hell story to tell, or a challenging life experience question, and would like to share your story by stepping up to bat as a T-baller. Either register by texting Q.i.Q to 1-870-686-4196 and join our Therapy Bites community, or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, email address, and age to the address on the screen. Therapy Bites, Q.i.Q, P.O. Box 1391, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72403-1391.
We're on a lot of platforms, and we love getting those postcards. I don't actually remember where this one came from. I think it was a young person. I don't want to be prejudiced, but I think it was a young person asked me, why are you wearing baby glasses? I said, these aren't baby glasses. My head swelled up. It makes the glasses look smaller. I had an allergic reaction. I had another person, a young person, say, because I have these big square glasses, and I do these black and white videos, kind of a checkerboard pattern on social media, and I post those. And this kid said, you look like the grandpa from Up. The grandpa from Up? Are you kidding? By the way, played by the great Ed Asner. So I take that as a compliment. You look like the grandpa from Up. Isn't that funny? Okay. The item says for 200 Psy coins. And guess what? And that is our T-ball triple of the day, which means it is worth 600 Psy coins. What can you do with Psy coins? I'm so glad that you asked. You can go to our TherapyBites shop and redeem those for mugs. And are the big coffee mugs, are those called mugs too? You know, like the Yeti things. It's not Yeti, but it looks like one of those. It's got the TherapyBites logo and everything on it. T-shirts, caps, and all kinds of cool things. So you can save those up. But for 600 Psy coins, this leads you to focus on only one aspect of a situation while being blinded to others. Do we have any contributors? Oh, not yet. Our time is up there because we took a break, and then we have the 20-second timer. But the question is, what is the underthinking in? Now, you hear people talk about overthinking, and talking about overthinking, I was underthinking and underthought whether or not my mute button on my mic was off, which I try to hit before I cough and sneeze and all that rigmarole. My wife often wishes there was a mute button on my forehead. I know. You guys can only imagine, right? But the question is, what is the underthinking in? That is basically ignoring other important aspects of the situation. I'm not an expert chess player. I do love to play chess. I'm not very good at it. I'm working on it, but I do love playing with my son and one of my very best friends, a business consultant. And I'd like to ask myself two questions. Are there any pieces, if I don't get them out of the way, he can capture? And once I've asked that, I ask myself, are there any of his pieces that I can capture? And then I'll look and see if I can continue whatever attack pattern or whatever that I've chosen. I know a few. I don't know a lot of them. But if I don't ask myself, look around and what else could be the case, I'll lose a game of chess more readily to anybody. So in your life, instead of focusing in on a single thing, which is underthinking, look and ask yourself what else could be going on. If someone says something unkind, what else could be going on with this person? What else could they mean? What else could they be talking about? What else could I choose to think about this situation? Don't underthink things. Let's go back to the board. And this is going to come from Social Media Smackdown. You know me, one of my favorite things. And let me put this up on the board for you so you guys have a fair chance of getting the proper question. And this is all over social media. I'll put it up on the board there for you, even though it's in the chat. But this is a disempowering, overused social media meme that mistakenly promotes that others are able to control what you're thinking, and specifically the belief that they have the power, psychic power, to make you think that you're crazy. Now, I have a problem with that, namely that it's disempowering. The belief that anybody but you can control your thoughts. Why would you think that? But if you know the response to that, the question, what is, it needs to come in the form of a question. You can win, 400 Psycoins. Gosh, if we would have waited on the T-ball triple, it could have been 1,200. But the question is, and I'll put it up here in the chat because I want you to really get this. If you'll give this up, you'll really be doing yourself a favor not believing that there's this thing called gaslighting. It's a myth. How would somebody fiddle-faddle with your brain cells and make you believe that you're crazy? William said, what is mind reading? That's pretty close, but gaslighting is actually making you think that you're crazy, and it's just something that doesn't exist. People can't do it. They can try. If you don't call the attempt at doing that gaslighting, that's fine, but how would they do that? There's no neurological foundation for that effect actually being a real effect. It's tantamount to, believing you're kidnapped by UFOs or something like that. No offense to those that believe that. I just don't. Let's go back to the board, and this is going to come from fresh from the therapy couch, and it is for 600 Psycoins. I'll put it up in the chat. We'll take a break, and we will be right back after this.
If you plan on being in the local area of your podcast player app and would like complimentary tickets to the TherapyBites Q.i.Q Art Lab studio audience, please search TherapyBites on your device and just smash that subscribe button. Your complimentary ticket grants you access to alerts so you'll never miss a show.
Oh, I had to find the right screen there, the 20-second screen, and I'll pull this up on the board. The 4 Ds. The answer is deny, defend, deflect, dismiss. What do we call those? Well, gosh, I just gave it away there, didn't I? But they were called the 4 destructive Ds, the 4 Ds of divorce. People do these things in relationships often. If somebody shares their perspective, people get into the habit of just denying it. That just didn't happen. That's denying. Defending it, launching some, state-level testimony about why they're wrong. Deflecting, I'm not a doo-doo head, you're a doo-doo head. And then dismissing, that's just saying, oh, that's just silly. That's just silly. What's the best thing you can do when someone you care about shares their perspective with you? Tick-tock, tick-tock. The best thing you can do is listen. You don't have to agree. And even if you don't agree, you don't have to share that you disagree. You can just simply listen. Try that sometime. Why is someone else's perspective a threat to you? Why do we live in a culture that all of a sudden, if your perspective differs from mine, that it's a threat to me? I don't think that your perspective is a threat to me. I may not agree, but that doesn't at all make it a threat. Let's go back to the board. The next comes from, and it's our penultimate item. Oops, I don't want to get the question in there. I just want to copy the answer. And here we go. For 200 Psycoins. And let me get the right timer here so I can drag it to the screen. The answer is it's a bit of a tricky question. This happens every other Friday. In the TherapyBites Art Lab, what do we do? Every other Friday. Comes out this Friday. Guess what that is? And if you want what comes out Friday, free of charge. All you have to do is send your email address, just text it to, if you're in the States. I don't think it works if you're in France or Ghana or something like that. You know, we have a lot of listeners in Ghana for some reason. Welcome. And other parts of the world, and even some of the in the U.S. But you can just text your email address to 1-870-686-4196. You get a special surprise every other Friday, and this Friday is one of those. And we want to give that to you. We work very hard on that. And the answer is, when is the Therapy Bites newsletter published? And it's published every other Friday. William got it, so he wins. What is that? What I say it was 200 Psycoins. William wins 200 PCs. All right. We're anything but politically correct around here, right? But we call our Psycoins PCs. You can redeem them at the company store. And we will go back to the board. And this item comes from our final category of the evening, Psych Secrets, labeled Nero. It's a big one. It is for 800 Psycoins, and I will pop it in the chat to let you canoodle your noodle about it, and we'll be right back.
Premier accommodations for our T-Ball contributors provided electronically by the luxurious Art Lab Studio, overlooking the steaming cesspool of pseudo-psychological social media psychomalarkey, and located in cyberspace on your favorite podcast hosting platform, where we invite you to the most psychomalogically thrilling podcast in town, while you feast on our award-winning psychologically nutritious buffet of TherapyBites cuisine, conscientiously cooked up by your hard-working T-Ball team chefs.
I need to reorder my screen so I can grab these with higher efficiency. But the final item is for 800 Psycoins. This is the myth that there's a lack of balance of these in the brain that causes depression and anxiety. Something in the brain that people think are out of balance and causes anxiety, depression, things like that. It's been debunked a long time ago. You might have even heard your mental health provider or PCP, primary care physician, label this. That's a good guess, William. Emotions. But emotions really, can they be out of balance? Emotions can be incongruent but not out of balance. But I will put it up here because I think it is so important. There literally is no way really to test for this. It's called, what is a chemical imbalance? Unless a test was done for this, and there is one, but it would be really prohibitively expensive, and your insurance would not pay for it. You cannot X-ray for this, CT for this. You cannot do an MRI for this. There's no glucometer test. There's no A1C for this. There's just no test for chemical imbalance. It's always guesswork, and hopefully we stop doing that and do some actual, really well-validated, reliable mental health tests before we just say, hey, you're probably depressed or have an anxiety disorder. But it's a common myth. Hey, my doctor said I had a chemical imbalance. I like to ask, how did your doctor determine that? Thank you guys for joining us. Go out there and remember how we started. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Unless you want to. But why would you do that? Check your thoughts. You'll make your life bigger and better than you ever thought it would be. We'll be back on Thursday. Catch the new podcast coming out tomorrow. Anywhere you get podcasts, Therapy Bites Podcast. I got kicked out of the Art Lab because it was a ladies only podcast with Sarah, Debbie, and Heather. And I think you guys are going to enjoy that. And have a great evening and take care of yourselves.
Next time on Therapy Bites Art Lab Q.i.Q, Doc Keith and T-Ball callers face off against steaming piles of pseudo-psychological psychomalarkey directly from your favorite social media platforms, or perhaps from the psychotherapy couch of a pill-pushing, emotion-demonizing, bobble-headed, woo-woo clinician who fed their kooky Kool-Aid to you. This is Art Potto speaking. Therapy Bites Q.i.Q is a Dr. I'm a Floyd Knot production. Distributed by the TherapyBites Art Lab Podcast.